Where the narcissistic mother dynamics often centres around emotional enmeshment and control, the narcissistic father leans more into absence, conditional approval, intimidation, and feeling like love had to be earned. And people carry that quiet weight of never being quite good enough. Having a narcissistic father doesn't always look like abuse, but the silent treatments, the distance, or pushing for a high achiever through punishment and control is all insidious abuse. Some narcissistic fathers aren't loud and obvious. Some are actually silently, consistently critical and exhausting. A narcissistic father often views his children as extensions of himself. He uses their achievements to boost his own image. Affection is often non-existent. Instead, his children will walk on eggshells to avoid his unpredictable anger, criticism, and coldness. Narcissistic fathers are driven by their own unmet needs for validation and control. So they use manipulation, physical violence, hurtful language, and dominance. And this is used to belittle, dismiss, and control their children. Narcissistic fathers are more likely to use fear to manipulate. They tend to engage more in teasing, mocking, and bullying behaviours, and this is to maintain superiority. They exhibit an intolerance for disobedience. The narcissistic father isn't capable of a traditional parent-child relationship. This is because they lack the capacity to offer their children support and encouragement. They are so focused on their own needs that their children's needs become irrelevant. They have a tendency to be preoccupied with success and power. Again, a very grandiose sense of self. His image to the outside world is paramount to him. Now, the psychological effects of childhood trauma and abuse are well documented. What's still very concerning to see is that there is less research out there that exists on the effects of people's mental health that were raised by narcissistic parents. Narcissistic parenting causes their children to live in a constant state of hyperarousal, anxiety, and depression, and this leads to serious mental health illnesses in adulthood. Engaging with a narcissistic father is taxing, even for an adult child, so it's a good idea to put your boundaries in place and keep them clear and consistent. Because the level of damage that's been done with the narcissistic father is at a psychological identity level. If you are the son of a narcissistic father, this will shape how you see masculinity, power, and self-worth. You may have the belief system that you are only valuable if you achieve, perform, and impress, and this has caused you chronic self-doubt, perfectionism, and feeling lost about who you truly are. You also may have the perception that emotions are weakness. You will have a distorted view of masculinity because your father modelled control, dominance, and lack of empathy. There is a good chance you became emotionally unavailable in your adult life. You may struggle to connect with your own kids, or you may use the same dynamic to control your own family. And it's not necessarily because you want to, but because it feels normal. If you are the daughter of a narcissistic father, love can feel conditional or confusing. You have probably only felt loved by him when you were good, quiet, or impressive. You grew up feeling dismissed, criticised, and ignored. You also grew up craving male validation, and this will lead you to being drawn to unavailable or distant partners. You may overgive to feel chosen, and you may stay longer in toxic relationships to try to prove your worth. Growing up with a feeling that your boundaries didn't matter means you tolerate more than you should. You feel guilty for saying no. Your self-worth became fragile because he criticised your appearance, your choices, and your emotions. He caused you to have confusion between attention and love, so you've accepted intensity instead of stability, and validation instead of care. A narcissistic father doesn't just affect your childhood, it shapes how you believe what love is, what you think you deserve, and how you show up in relationships. So whether you are a son or a daughter who grew up with a narcissistic father, it left scars, it shapes you. It shapes how you see yourself, how you experience love, and also what you believe you deserve. But none of that will ever be a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection on what you didn't receive. Healing will never be about changing them. It's about reclaiming yourself. So if you want some of my free tools, please watch my Narcissistic Mother video, because I've got some tools on there for you guys. So thanks for listening, and as always, take good care of yourself, and I'll see you on the next one.